Look at that, I picked the death card, so it's showing a death card. Hi there, my name is Angel, and today we're going to make a fortune-telling app together using Replit Agent. So here's what we're going to do today, and the notes will be in the description. Replit is an online IDE. You can think about it like a code editor that lets you write code without having to download anything. So it's browser-based. It helps you avoid all the hassle and all the complexity that you have to deal with when deploying an app and then have it live on a website. 2 weeks ago, they announced Replit Agent, which you can think about it like the composer in Cursor. And it's an AI-powered tool that allows people to create software applications using natural language prompting. Right now, in order to use the Replit Agent, you have to be at least in the core plan, which is $25 per month. On an annual basis, is $10 a month. But again, because it's in early access, you have to subscribe to this. So I've already subscribed to it, and this is what it looks like when you get in there. Today, we're going to use Replit Agent to make a fortune-telling app. This is my initial prompt that I wrote down to save time, and we're going to go on to Replit and just input it here. If you didn't subscribe, you need to go through that flow and input your payment information. And then on this homepage, you should be able to see this Replit Agent limited access. So I inputted my prompt like you would do in ChatGPT, and you just click start building. And it's going to say, hey, it's in early access. I'm going to be like, okay, continue. And so it's going to work its magic. It does take a while because it's thinking. And now it's created a proposal. I've created a plan for a fortune-telling website using Flask and Vanilla.js. The site will generate personalized readings based on user input, combining numerology and tarot card readings. Let me know if you like to proceed with this plan or if you need any modifications. Would you like any of these additional features? We can make changes later. They're kind of smart about this. They're like, okay, let's build the initial prototypes, but maybe you want these other things too. Implement user accounts to save and review past readings, add more diminishing methods, create a mobile app version for on-the-go readings, integrate social sharing features for user to share their readings. That sounds great, but I'm probably going to leave it alone for now. So I'm going to approve plan and get started. While it's building the prototype, it's thinking about how to do this, you can see the code being generated on the left side. And this is really cool because you can get a sense of what they're doing, generating a bunch of code for you, generating a bunch of files for you, like the JavaScript and CSS. I think there are some limitation to this because I tried to get it to do it in Next.js, and it says right now it doesn't support it. So you kind of just use whatever language they support for now. While it's doing a bunch of thinking, let's go over the prompt that I shared. Basically, this prompt, I'm asking it to use tarot card and use numerology and use ChatGPT. I believe that later it's going to ask me for the ChatGPT API key, which you can generate through the ChatGPT project file if you haven't already. But right now it didn't ask me, so I'm just going to input my name right now, and I'm going to just put in a random birthday right here, and I'm going to get my reading. We apologize, but we couldn't generate your reading at this time. Please try again later. But the app looks pretty good to me. It's just that they couldn't generate my reading. Replit Agent said, can you fill out the form with the name and birthday submitted and tell me if a personalized reading is generated and displayed? Also, are the 3 tarot cards visible after submission? We're going to say, no, I got this error message. We're supposed to use ChatGPT. Can I give you the API key? Something like that. So you would chat back and forth with Replit to debug and go through this process. I've already created previously an API key from ChatGPT's API, and I'm just going to paste that into here, and I'm going to add secret. Now it's going to recreate this based on what I've shared. And it still says we're still getting the same error, so we're going to debug this. It's like a back and forth process with the Replit Agent. I think this is even easier to use than Cursor is, but this one just has a little bit more limitation. It's kind of funny what it says. I apologize for the error you're experiencing. We've identified an issue with our mystical connection and our team is working on resolving it. Please try again in a few moments while we realign our energies. They're even funny about it because I'm making like a tarot card app. They're making this like very mystical and saying it in a certain way. I find that very Lovely. This AI has personality. Okay, let's see what happens when I click on this. I'm still getting this pop-up error. I'm gonna screenshot it and send it. Please give us a moment while we realign our energies. Yes, let's realign our energies. Please try again. Okay, I think now maybe it's doing something better because it's now installing OpenAI, whereas before I don't think it installed OpenAI. That's probably what the issue is. And you can also see what the error is, and then you can Google it and then give it some directions. You can open the console to look at what's the error that you're getting if you have some issues, and then paste it back to the agent so then they can debug this. And now it works after some debugging. The debugging process is okay. Can you get the warnings and issue from the console and typing it in and then work back and forth with them? Now it generated 3 paragraphs as I requested them. Your personalized reading angel is a seeker of stability and practicality. I'm just gonna hide the dev tool. And there are 3 cards, but the cards have no images. I think the image files are missing. Can we get ChatGPT to provide an image if the image is missing? And now it's saying, I'm updating our system to provide descriptions of tarot cards when images are not available. This will ensure you always have a visual representation of the cards in your reading, even if it's text form. We'll see how that looks like. Get my reading. Okay, so the personalized reading generated, but I'm getting an error message that says I'm missing some data for this. I think you still have to do a little bit of work because I don't think it's working too well with images, but it is very doable that you could input all the cards into here. I'm just gonna do one last attempt to fix it and say fix the cards, and now it generated, because it doesn't have an image, so it's describing the card. I could technically get some images through ChatGPT and then label it myself over here. That will take a little bit of work. Let's see. The first card, the hangman, the second card, and the last card, the chariot card. So it did everything I wanted. We're relatively good here. From a few prompts to this, with a little bit of debugging, I'm very impressed. Now what we're going to do is deploy this app. So I'm going to go to deploy, and I'm just going to do auto scale, set up your deployment. I don't need that many machines, and then approve. I'm just going to call it my reading and click deploy. Now it's going to work its magic. After a few minutes, it says the app's been deployed. We're going to open it up and we're going to have this in the live view. You can just test it out and get your reading and see what happens next. I probably would add a loading button. Look at that. I picked the death card. So it's showing a death card. Anyway, so this is how you quickly make a web app with Replit, and it's so easy and seamless. I would say there are some advantages to using Replit versus Cursor. Whereas Cursor, it's more flexible, but Replit Agent is even easier if you're a beginner and just getting started. That's very cool. I updated the notes, so you have the latest notes on debugging and deploying as well. If this video was helpful, do subscribe and give me a like so then we can stay in touch and we can make more fun stuff together. All right, see you next time. Thank you.